Born out of the hand and armed combat used in petty wars, the tribes of the jungles in the Malay archipelago have produced some of the most dynamic systems of combat and self-defense. At the onset of the 15th century, this indigenous art was collectively known as Pencak Silat, a system that was frequently used in military forces as seen in the early Malay kingdoms of Langkasuka, Srivijaya, Majapahit, and Malacca. Unsurprisingly, this full-body fighting form was part of the education of many young men as it was considered integral in the path towards manhood. As they trained to protect their lives and did whatever was necessary to survive, Pencak Silat helped to develop other assets like the social, emotional, and moral competencies within oneself. As such, this illustrates how Pencak Silat, when taught by a qualified teacher, can also be used as a method of spiritual training as well. Historically, the legend of Aji Saka, a swordsman who became the primordial king of Java, is often brought up in view of the origins of Pencak Silat. Saka, who was allegedly from India, had successfully brought over the method of knife dueling, a combat style that was adapted by the Batak in North Sumatra and the Bugis Makassar in current-day Indonesia. With the support of archaeological evidence, it is revealed that formalized combative systems were also being practiced in the area of Minangkabau in West Sumatra and Riau by the 6th century AD. However, our visit to Goodman Art Center tells us a different story. We met Iskandar Muda Abdul Jalil Rais, a Silat warrior who offers his perspective on the origins of Silat.
Segala-gala tentang Silat is rahsia. Sejarah yang ditutup dengan cerita-cerita rakyat, itu banyak ceritanya. Sampai sekarang orang tak tahu sejarah betul. Sejarah tentang Silat juga dibuat-buat. Dan ada story, Silat asal daripada harimau lawan dengan monyet. Harimau kalah, so orang tengok monyet ni, orang main silat monyet. They make story supaya orang akan sejarah kena go through. Takkan binatang tu ada sejarah, and how to go beyond that.
According to Paman, these are myths, many of them designed to explain us as we wish to see ourselves. They establish the national character and set the standard for coming generations. As we learn about the true origins of Silat, we realize that the main components in the traditional art include the important aspects of bela diri, otherwise known as self-defense, and kebatinan, a term that is referred to one's spirituality. Later on, seni budaya, a combination of art and culture, and olahraga, which refers to the sport we see it as today, came along.
Orang Barat datang bawa ideologi tentang demokrasi berparlimen. Demokrasi berparlimen ni, diorang punya konsep, manusia tu kalau rakyat ni diorang nak kontrol, diorang kena segregate. Kalau semua individu susah nak kontrol.
During the rule of the Dutch East Indies, the economic structure employed Pencak Silat as an instrument of social control to govern coolies hired from different regions. Unwittingly, this practice encouraged the intermingling of the various farming groups and the foreign coolies. As Indonesian striking methods dabbled with Indian grappling techniques, new brands of Pencak Silat were produced. Our interview with Asnadi Robani, the current Grandmaster of Jaka Sakti, informs us about the cultural exchanges that happened as migration took its course.
Especially Indonesia, that the Indians actually they were initially Hindus, okay, and the Chinese also went there to migrate to Indonesia. That's where you can see a bit of the steps, which is actually almost similar to those of Kung Fu.
Aside Kung Fu, elements of the Chinese martial art known as Kun Tao can also be found in certain aspects of Pencak Silat. This can be attributed to the concentration of Chinese traders in Java, whose exchanges led to a diffusion of Pencak Silat. Subsequently, practitioners of Kun Tao continued to settle in the Malay Peninsula. and influenced the native community to absorb certain elements of the Kuntao into Pencak Silat. Musically, cultural exchanges were replicated as well, as seen in the assimilation of instruments. As the frequently used Javanese gendang and kulantir were absent, locally available instruments such as jidur and the trumpets that originated from the Madura and Bewan migrants readily took its place.
So the different pembawaan budaya di daerah masing-masing itu merubah cara silat yang mereka bawa. Merubah itu yang menjadikan paradigm change. Orang-orang yang belajar silat asal pulang ke tempat masing-masing, dia berubah.
Undoubtedly, transmigration had allowed cross-cultural exchanges to happen in the form of Pencak Silat. While change is an inevitable aspect of migration, Pencak Silat has managed to retain its kebatinan, a term that is referred to those who develop inner tranquility through a method of submission to the Almighty. As such, the search for spirituality teaches students the importance of extricating themselves, a physical reminder of the student's connection to the cosmos and his belief system. To many practitioners, this is the most difficult stage to achieve in learning Silat. More often than not, it is reserved by the Silat masters for students who have been exemplary and proven worthy of the high level of knowledge. However, the discrepancy is salient in this divided generation. While the old adamantly believes that religion is paramount in Pencak Silat, the young thinks otherwise.
Religion. What I understand is that for religion-wise, because Silat has always been a cultural thing, and as humans lah, if we like something, we try to incorporate into our daily lives. So I don't think religion actually has a big role in it. Just that the idea of self-defending yourself, yes, it's a part of religion. But however, people tend to try to intertwine culture and religion, and I don't think it's a very for Silat, it's not a very closely knit thing. Whereby, I think for Silat, people just try to force it in instead of like really, yes, it was a certain aspect. So it's all about the people lah. Actually, cultural and religion is always two set entities, but people try to mold them and everything just falls apart. That's what I feel.
Religion plays very important role in every martial art. The religious part of it is more of putting or instilling the values of religious, which is you are supposed to be good, you're supposed to be low profile when you're really up there. So it actually links up to each other.
Along the way, ada pihak-pihak yang nak pecahkan silat dengan agama. There are group of people who trying to do this. They learn the history. Budaya dengan agama tak ada terpisah. Kita manusia hidup dalam dunia ni, kalau tak ada agama, kita dah bukan manusia. Dan kalau kita main silat, dah tak ada agama, kita bukan silat. Kita dah boleh jadi opang. Dia boleh buat apa dia kata. Tak ada yang memandu dia.
In order to portray the multifacets of Pencak Silat, Seni Budaya was introduced. Commonly referred to as the martial arts beauty or knowledge, this traditional form of entertainment witnessed practitioners clad in warrior attire carry out a series of aesthetic movements that emphasizes on collectivity, discipline, and orderliness. This development of dance-like movements can be attributed to two reasons. One, to avoid boredom while perfecting the moves, and two, as a way to disguise their deadly moves from their opponent. As such, music was incorporated. With sound and movement becoming an expressive system, music is almost natural in this art of self-defense. This can be seen in form demonstrations such as Tunggal, Ganda, and Regu.
Lagu silat ni, muzik ni, dia ada yang monoton. Monoton maknanya as a background. Boom, background orang silat. Yang ada dia tepakan berarti muzik dia come from inside the body and the movement become sound. Pakai mulut dia. Tung, tepak tung, ya tepak tung, syuk, tepak tung, gerak. Ada gerakan Paman tu keluar lagu. Itu ada yang ikut muzik nanti live kena. Tumpak, tumpak, jadi music in silat is natural, mesti ada. Sama ada dikembangkan dengan alat atau tidak.
While the use of armed combat has waned, Pencak Silat schools have continued to regard weapons to some degree of importance. The most common silat weapons are the kris, a wavy bladed knife, the karambit, a curved knife, and badit, which refers to a dagger. In view of Southeast Asia's agricultural practice, it is of little surprise that most of these weapons were originally farming tools. While aged weapons are prioritized, the stick and sarong are also popular for self-defense as well. Today, there are various styles of silat, most of which are found in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, southern Thailand, and the Philippines. Across all of these styles is the similarity of a combat-oriented ideology and the use of weaponry. Interestingly, this martial art is not restricted to the Southeast Asia region. With the establishment of the Silat Federation in the Europe continent, it shows how this art of self-defense is regionally recognized.
I was involved with there's a program from the Federation called Silat Goes Global. Okay, so I think I've been through to about 19 countries, okay, promoting the sport, okay, to the Indian continents, to Africa, we went to Egypt, we went to Morocco, we went to Europe is there, the sport is already there. Okay, so we went to Hong Kong, we went to China to promote the sport.
So, as a national athlete, my job as a national athlete is to perform in the arena competitively. So, when I'm there, I'm just using certain move sets which are efficient in gaining points, however not losing points. So, it's just there's no set in stone any traditional form of movement which I have to use. It's all about sportsmanship. It's all about competitiveness. How to win the most easiest way and the most efficient way. So traditional, based on tradition wise, there's no a very low aspect.
It's not good lah. It's not good, but since benda ni dah berjalan, so the best is to control aja lah. Tapi sekarang olahraga Paman tengok sangat menyedihkan. Banyak peraturan dah diubah sehingga kan 1980 punya apa yang Paman dah bikin dengan orang-orang awal lah, banyak yang dah dibuang, tak pakai. Contohnya, dulu waktu awal sedia mula dan mana kaya jalan Paman ada point. Jalan dikasih point. Jadi seni itu ada pukul dia kaki, tak pukul, jadi 1 + 1 macam itu. Ada gaya ni, oh ni ada gaya ni, bantingan ni, oh ada gaya. Jadi penampilan Paman bersilat itu dikasih markah. Sekarang tak ada. Sekarang tenang 2 poin, pukul 1 poin dah ada point. Jadi orang rebut point, main ini dah macam ayam belanda dulu. Itulah sedihnya kerana pakar silat dah semakin kurang, sedangkan kegiatan silat semakin banyak. Tapi what to do, masa bergerak, zaman berubah, akan datang orang dari macam mana kita tak tahu. Jadi anak-anak kita akan berubah ikut zaman dia. Kita cuma try to best preserve what is good. Sampaikan.
As we explore the migratory patterns of Pencak Silat, The rich history that lies within the art of self-defense has highlighted the impacts of broader processes in both social and cultural changes, at the level of individual bodies and the institutions through which they are constructed. With these paradigm shifts, we could not help but notice that Pencak Silat has been secretly passed down via oral transmission from one generation to another. However, a regional classification tends to simplify the complex attributes in an interlacing network of component parts. As such, the revitalization of this traditional art is one that is crucial and to some, necessary even.